Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. Okay, I'm vertical again and moving around. Got a little bit of my energy back, not 100%, but you can probably still hear I'm a little off kilter still, but we'll get through it. Come back and find out that the world is in economic turmoil as usual, and it's just getting more interesting as we go. So yesterday you had Janet Yellen come out and say that if Congress doesn't raise the debt limit, that the U.S. will be out of cash to pay off our debt, pay off the interest on our debt, come June 1st. It's less than a month away. Okay. Now we know that last week the House passed a spending plan that cut spending as a trade for the raise of the debt ceiling. And again, you guys know they're going to raise the debt ceiling. There's no question. Okay, they have to. Well, they don't have to, but we default if they don't, and nobody wants to take the blame for that. And of course, Biden has said forever that he's not negotiating. It's going to be a clean bill. We're going to raise the debt ceiling, nothing attached, and that's it. Well, House passing that bill last week kind of caught Biden's by surprise. Late last night, the Biden administration contacted Kevin McCarthy and said, let's sit down and negotiate this. And that's supposed to happen on May 9th. Okay. So there was actually progress in getting that done. We'll see what the negotiations mean. I mean, Biden could walk in and go, the negotiation is I'm not negotiating. Okay. Or, give me two scoops of ice cream and you can have what you want. So we got some progress there. Now, let's get into the one that's a little bit more close to home. And this is all the bank failures, all right? And I mean, as of now, we have 5, all right? 4 in California and 1 in New York. Amazing where they're happening, aren't they? The funny part is the party that seems to want globalism and all this sort of stuff is really against all these FDIC bailouts. That Elizabeth Warren, who is famous for hating big banks, is bitching up a storm about I think it's $11 billion that the FDIC has to eat with First Republic Bank. The fact that the Fed is loaning JP Morgan $25 billion to buy First Republic. Figure that one out. Okay. Does that mean that basically the Fed is the one buying them out? But what gets even more sticky with this, okay, and there's a couple articles I'm going to send you here. You hear, link below, you hear all the Washington, the media, Jamie Dimon out yesterday. Oh, the banking industry's so strong, it's solid, we're fine, yada, 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 right? Yeah, okay. Except we had a little report come out yesterday that nearly 200 bank branches are being shut down this quarter. Santander Bank is going to close down 17. They're up in New England, okay. Wells Fargo, they're going to close 20. PNC Bank, they're going to close 30. 200 bank branches. What would be the problem? Well, we could have multiple things. A, the banks are losing money. Okay, they can't. Nobody's borrowing money. Nobody's doing anything, so the banks don't have the revenue to keep the branches open. The banks don't have the employees to keep the branches open. I mean, how many times have you gone into a bank lately and maybe there's one teller? Or a few of you guys have sent me emails saying you went to the bank and there was nobody there. It was just go to the ATM machine. It's like, I need to talk to a person. There's nobody working today. That could be a problem. The other thing is maybe this gives a little bit of weight to the rumor out there that it's not going to be 6 banks. And I've mentioned to you guys before, Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, U.S. Bank, and PNC. Those are the supposed big 6 that would stick around. Well, if we're hearing things like Wells Fargo closing down a bunch of branches, we're hearing PNC Bank closing down. I mean, yes, there are some from J.P. Morgan that are closing too, but not many. Could there be any truth to the rumor that, uh, maybe it is only going to be two, J.P. Morgan, Chase, and Bank of America? Now, see, don't I sound wonderful? Of the banks, this is where the media is trying to play both sides against the middle with you. Elizabeth Warren's out there going, I hate big banks. Everybody should have their money in small banks. Jamie Dimon's out there going, the only ones that are going to possibly collapse from here are smaller banks. The big banks are all good. So what are you supposed to believe? Okay, and yes, credit unions are all involved in this and everything too. I know everybody asks all the time too, but credit unions are just as much of at risk of default as banks are. They're just owned differently. That's all it is. But so what are you supposed to do? How do you take care of your money? And again, the first thing is, make sure you're diversified. Have a couple of different banks, okay? Because you don't know if the one bank you have closes. If you've got a checking account and a savings account, have your checking account with one and have your savings account with another, or something like that. Something simple. I mean, God knows in any town there's more than one bank. Have a bank and have a credit union. Diversify yourself like that. I mean, again, we could talk about gold and silver, but I'm talking about how to deal with cash. Because, again, the next thing that happens when you have cash, you got to keep it at home. You got to keep some at home, but you don't want to keep a boatload of cash at home because cash is not covered by your home insurance. So you don't worry about, so if your house burns down, you don't get that cash back. But what do you do? Okay. You got to put it, this is always the hardest question. You got to put it somewhere, but you don't trust anywhere. And if you keep it all at home, you're not exactly safe either. This is where diversity comes into such a big deal. I mean, if you've got $5,000, let's say, that's what you've got in the way of savings. Have $2,000 home and at home and have three accounts with $1,000 at three different banks. Who cares? It's they're not out there selling you going, well, we pay better interest or what. You know what? 0.1% or 0.1.5% on $1,000 ain't going to make a whole lot of difference in your checkbook. Okay. But the safety knowing, oh my God, you wake up one morning and I had money at First Republic Bank. Crap, well, they got 99 years to pay me back my $1,000. At least I've got my other 4,000 somewhere. Diversity is going to be the key, certainly with the bank and with the credit union. Diversity is going to be a key, having multiple places of holding your money, because we don't know what's going to happen next. Would I suggest putting money in Chase or Bank of America? Hell no. Okay, especially not Bank of America. I mean, how many times have we seen all of them? Bank of America and Wells Fargo are the ones who are notoriously get fined for illegal activity. So, guys, just pay attention to this. Apparently, we've got something going on between McCarthy and Biden in regards to the negotiation of the debt ceiling, so we don't default. Because if we default, guys, you got instant hyperinflation. I'm just telling you. Okay, there's still a good chance you're going to see our credit rating downgraded. Remember, it happened during Obama, first time ever. We went from AAA to AA plus. If we go down to AA here under Biden, because hey, Biden just does what Obama tells him anyway, you will see bond yields soar. You will see the price of gold and silver soar, because again, if the credit rating is lower, you're going to have to pay people more. The government's going to have to pay people more to be willing to borrow. The government's going to have to pay higher interest rates so that people would be interested in loaning the government money. So, all right, that's the nose talking this morning. All right, have a good one, guys. We'll see what happens and how I feel for the rest of the day. Hopefully, I'm not 100%. Hopefully, we'll do the live stream tonight. We'll just see how I feel throughout the day. Have a good one. Pinball out.